to Australia in Space TV. My name's Chris Cubbage. I'm the editor with the Australia in Space magazine. We're here in Singapore at the Global Space and Technology Convention with the Singapore Space and Technology Limited. I'm here with Harshbir Sangha, the Director of Growth with the UK Space Agency. Thanks for joining us on Australia in Space TV.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Connectivity between UK and Singapore. It's great to see the UK here, the lead country, I suppose, in terms of the partner for the convention. Maybe a little bit about the UK space sector and then the real connectivity that you've got here in Singapore.
Yeah, sure. So quite excited to be here as part of the GSTC convention. UK space sector as a whole, I would normally call it obviously in a bit of a kind of midstream when we talk about spacefaring nations. The income's about 16.5 billion a year, 47,000 people employed in the sector and growing year on year. And we've got quite a niche expertise, not in just data exploitation, but also small satellite manufacturing, which is what we're trying to kind of build on. And as far as kind of Singapore is concerned, I think we see it as a real opportunity to collaborate. We're trying to build on the MOU being signed between SSTL, the Singapore entity, and STFC, our Science, Technology and Facilities Council, back in the UK. The MOU was signed a couple of years ago. We've refreshed it today for another 3 years. But the main thing is behind that, I think MOU is just a channel which then opens up opportunities for new companies or companies between Singapore and the UK to kind of sign up and join in. And I'm quite pleased. There were a couple of commercial contracts being exchanged this morning, which is quite exciting. So I think if you think about the UK and Singapore, I see it as kind of a natural collaboration. We have got technology, manufacturing, data, and I think Singapore with its ambitions, I think there's a bit of a natural join up, whether it's obviously in kind of launch capabilities, data exploitation or manufacturing. So it's quite exciting.
Where do you see either the differences or the synergies between the two? Do you see Singapore potentially a bit more software driven and research driven that might fit with the UK manufacturing? Where do you see the synergy strengths?
I think the synergy is probably in the downstream market to begin with. So I see a lot of data capabilities where either obviously the UK entity tech transfer from the UK or vice versa. I think that can happen quite easily and quite naturally. And I think as we got to grow more obviously on the Singaporean side, on the maturity of its sector, I can see another kind of synergy coming where it's kind of manufacturing and tech transfer in that capacity. But it's early stage. I think we need to build on it. But I think there's real opportunities where we can either build on what we have now or what it could be in 5 years down the line.
Are you seeing any research synergies as well in terms of joint research?
There is joint research which is just getting off the ground. So we've got our universities from the UK who are here, a number of universities who are trying to partner with universities here in Singapore. Alongside the convention, there's another kind of convention going on, collaboration between the universities. So I'm quite excited. But it's not at the stage where obviously it's signed and agreed, but there's a collaboration happening as we speak, more of the kind of, I guess, at the embryonic stage rather than developed stage. And
maybe a little bit more, just so I can understand the structure of the MOU with the council. It's not with the UK Space Agency. And how have you structured that? And obviously, we just spoke to Lynette Tan of the SSTL, and that's more for civil space here in Singapore. Is that hence the way that they've structured it with the council involved rather than, say, the UK Space Agency?
So it's actually, I normally call obviously space is a big team sport in the UK. So I am from the UK Space Agency. We work very closely with UK Research and Innovation, where the council sits in, the Science and Technology Facilities Council. They're responsible for the R&D and infrastructure. They do a lot of work in space, working with us. There is another entity called Innovate UK. Then there are ministries out there.
That's right.
So we work as one team. I think it just happened, the collaboration between SSTL and STFC happened as part of the project because they had a natural collaboration to do at the time. But I'm also obviously excited about, maybe if it's an opportunity for the UK Space Agency to then sign or working with the MOU or a contract in the coming future. So it's not that obviously an agency doesn't want to do it, it's just who are the natural partners. I'd much rather go with a natural partnership and build on it rather than just create a partnership.
Nice. Now the MOU, as you said, is just a vehicle, it's sort of an undertaking. What would be a call to action, both for UK companies but also Singapore companies that might want to either jump on board or find out more? What's the low-hanging fruit for them?
I think that in some ways the low-hanging fruit is understanding what the MOU can deliver for both entities.
Yep.
I think having an MOU for me is like creating a magnet where obviously people start to come in. So if I talk about, obviously I've used an example of data exploitation. I think there are a number of companies in the UK who obviously want to venture out and partner with the companies here in Singapore, but they never had a natural mode to do it. Now the MOU, which we are trying to obviously publicize back in the UK, and I'm sure SSTL are doing it over here, I'm hoping the companies can naturally come together and begin to forge partnerships under an avenue which never existed before.
Yeah. The other integration between sectors, I've got a session tomorrow on cybersecurity, for example. There's another session today on Industry 4.0. Do you see the cross industry, not just from the verticals, but horizontal across the market, also provides opportunity?
I hope so. I really hope so. I think one of the biggest challenges we face, not just obviously with this collaboration, even within the UK, is how do you get the adjacent sectors who are not like space sector as a whole, bring them into using the space as an avenue. So I'm hoping the horizontal would happen as part of the process. But again, obviously, I think it'll be a bit of a challenge process to go through rather than, it would just happen. But I'm hoping, I've seen obviously a number of companies, or not space companies, in this convention who are having those kind of discussions at the moment.
It's attracting them, isn't there?
It's attracting them to, exactly.
Sovereign launch capability in the UK. Still trying, and what do you see the highlights for 2023, 2024? What's the roadmap that you see?
So as far as the launch capability is concerned, I think we've already got a launch capability. As far as horizontal launch is concerned, we've got all the regulation in place. We got normally called obviously, the satellites didn't make the orbit, but the capability exists.
Got it.
We got that ticked. Now the plan is to try another horizontal launch in the future, but the focus for 2023-24 will be trying to do a vertical launch from the UK. So we're building a number of spaceports in the UK. So to create our own sovereign capability when it comes to small satellite launches. So I'm hoping and I'm expecting we'll have a successful vertical launch from the UK in not too distant future, hopefully this year.
Okay, so there's no set date just
There's no set date, not at the moment. There is no, I can't even say obviously we've got the agreement to do it, but I think it's only a matter of time as opposed to anything else.
Well, that's a potential segue to Australia. We don't want to take away from your partnership here in Singapore, but you're going to be off into Avalon. We're media partners with Avalon later this month as well. And there's a lot of noise around obviously the UK and Australia Space Bridge that we'll stay tuned for more. So Harshbir Sangha, the Director of Growth with UK Space Agency, thank you so much for coming on Australia in Space TV, and enjoy the rest of your time here in Singapore.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And just to kind of finish on the Australia side as well, equally excited by the collaboration with Australia as well. I've got a huge contingent traveling to Australia straight after this. So I won't be there, but I'm quite excited that the Space Bridge will really produce the fruit. It's already doing so. I'm really excited about signing some contracts where obviously it becomes a real opportunity to collaborate between the two nations.
Well, I think there's a lot of trilateral collaboration here with Singapore, right? So there's a natural link there. So I think there's definitely something to build on within the region as well.
Absolutely.
We'll find out more coming up soon.
Thank
See you
you,
at
Chris.
Avalon.
Thank you.